Hello? Hello, do you hear me?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hi
Hi.
everybody. Uh, Hello and good morning and good afternoon to everybody who decided to spend some time with us. I hope you have your cup of coffee or tea and that you will enjoy it with pleasure the next 60 minutes which we are going to have. Here we are with our colleagues and partners from Transmetrics, John, who is the CEO of Transmetrics, Balázs, who is the head of product development in Transmetrics, and Simeon, who is the business leader of cloud and cognitive solutions software in IBM. And it is me, I'm Tony. I'm IBM software product manager in ALSO, and we have the privilege and honor to be partners of both Transmetrics and IBM. In today's webinar, you are going to experience and enjoy the demo and a presentation of our speakers, Balázs and John, as well as Simeon. And you will understand at the end of the webinar how you can leverage the power of AI for the transport planning. Gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks, everybody. Let me welcome everyone today. We're very thrilled to have our partners from Transmetrics here. And today we will be talking about artificial or augmented intelligence in the transportation industry and how you can improve your operations. I will begin with a short presentation on the importance of AI for the business today, and I hope this will bring some questions, or maybe you are already employing artificial intelligence in your operations. Maybe you're about to start, but at the end of today's event, what we want to do is to make you sure that this is a very important part of going forward with your business. With that, let me share a short presentation here that I have prepared. Tony, if you can confirm in a second that you can see my screen, it will be great.
It's starting to appear.
Hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. So in the next 10 minutes, I'll be talking about how you can accelerate your journey to artificial intelligence in your organization. I would like to start with a number. 90% of world's data was created in the last few years. This is a staggering statistic to think about. But as we see more and more data, it becomes harder and harder to make sense out of it. So I'm sure in your transportation operations, you can collect quite a lot of data. The problem is how we make sense out of this data, and artificial intelligence and machine learning are an approach to that, and we'll see how it works in real life. But before that, let's talk a bit more about artificial intelligence and such. We believe that artificial intelligence and technology at large helps organizations really enable the business do more. And this is a quite interesting statistic by Gartner from last year. You see that the chief information officers in a lot of organizations are actually investing in artificial intelligence and machine learning as a top technology, followed by data analytics, of course, cloud, including software infrastructure as a service, and so on. Internet of Things is another emerging technology that is very high on the agenda of the CIOs. And digital transformation initiatives are also a huge consideration. This is, of course, not unusual to see, taken the challenges which organizations are facing today. But what is really the value of artificial intelligence for business? You might ask. The main consideration should be in seizing the opportunity that is out there. That means surfacing hidden intelligence to transform how your business operates. As you can see, AI is really an enabler and unlocks the value of data in new ways. It helps predict and shape future outcomes. It also empowers your people, the people in your organization, to do a higher value work. It also helps automate decisions, processes, and experiences, and ultimately reimagining new business models. You see that in action with the Transmetrics solutions that we'll be talking about later today. But the important thing here is that actually using that type of technology helps increase revenue and save costs. As you can see, most of the pioneers in artificial intelligence who adopt artificial intelligence in their operations see the majority of the potential of the technology in increasing revenue. It's very important to underline here that the gap between leaders and laggards is widening. What does it mean? It means those who adopt such technology at an early stage will have a competitive advantage over the competition in the industry in the future. And those who adopt them at a later stage will be falling behind in terms of business efficiencies. There is an approach that we have at IBM. It's a prescriptive approach towards adopting AI technology in your organization. We call it the AI ladder. Whoever is interested, please feel free to visit the links I'll share at the end of my presentation and download the free copy of this ebook. It's really a very simple approach on how you should think about artificial intelligence in your organization. So, as you can see, it goes step by step. Of course, we begin with collecting the data. This is the fuel that we need for effective artificial intelligence technology to work. Then we continue with organizing this data, create a trusted analytics foundation. And then the next step is actually to get this all analyzed and scale insights with artificial intelligence technology. And ultimately, what we want to achieve is to infuse this throughout the organization and really operationalize AI with trust and transparency across the organization. Of course, for this, you need an underlying layer of talent and expertise, and a platform on which you can build that and modernize your business. Once again, everyone who is more interested on that, I highly recommend going through that prescriptive approach and download the ebook. You can find it online. With that, I'm going over to what IBM is actually doing in the field of artificial intelligence. You might have heard, you might have not, the brand Watson. Watson, this is the AI for business. This is the IBM portfolio of enterprise-ready pre-built applications, tools, and runtimes that are here to help you on your AI adoption journey. As you can see here, we can have two categories of Watson products. One is the pre-built applications. These are out-of-the-box solutions that you can employ straight away. We're talking about Watson Assistant, a virtual assistant, intelligent virtual assistant you can have for your internal needs or external needs, customer experience, and so on. Watson Discovery. We have recently AI Ops, which is quite interesting topics in everybody interested in DevOps practices as well. We have other products such as Maximo, where we have a predictive analytics place. Sterling, safer payments, and many more. You're more than welcome to see the full stack of IBM pre-built applications. On the other hand, we have the tools and runtimes that help organizations build artificial intelligence solutions. So here we are talking about Watson Knowledge Catalog. We're talking about Watson Studio, Watson Machine Learning. And actually today we're going to talk about a solution that is built with exactly with these tools that empower organizations to really reap the best of AI in a very feasible way. All we know, this is how we address the AI ladder. We believe that IBM provides the necessary tools on each of these steps of the ladder. Everything you need for enterprise AI anywhere. What does it mean? Really is that you can deploy these solutions basically everywhere, from on-premises, cloud, private cloud, and so on and so forth. At the end, we have the top layer. We have the users. The range here is really wide, from app developers, data and IT professionals, data scientists, to the usual common business users and analysts. AI really should be for everyone. It shouldn't be only for high technical people and so on. And you see the solutions that could be built with this technology, as you can see today, can be used in a very easy way for people in your organization. I would finish with a couple of slides just to show that IBM has been investing quite a lot in this technology, and we truly believe it's something that that is not only emerging; it's already should be on the top of the agenda of the business, not only IT specialists. So with that, there are a couple of Forrester Wave reports. As you can see, IBM is leader in most of these reports from the different products that we have and the whole platform. I would like to finish with the references that we have across the globe. Companies that are adopting AI-infused hybrid cloud solutions really are able to accelerate their business outcomes. I'm sure you recognize some of the companies on this slide. What I want to say is that the applications can vary from customer experience through a reduction in internal IT ticketing, reduction in manual processes, and so on and so forth. All of this leads to this augmented intelligence, where people and machines work together for a better business outcomes. With that, I would like to hand it over to our partners from Transmetrics, who will be able to show you how this works in reality with their intelligence solution for transportation. Thank you.
Thank you, Moni. Thank you for the interesting intro.
Thank you, Timon. So, hi everyone. So let me just share my screen.
Until John is sharing his screen, maybe I believe it became clear why we are going first, and why we are making this overview of Watson, because it has a very big coverage of any kind of, it can cover any industry and any ideas. And now we are going to experience really one of its best and very, very interesting and very useful collaboration with the solution of solution of Transmetrics.
Thank you. Thank you both. So do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I'm John, CEO at Transmetrics, and I will. So we will have two parts for this presentation today with you guys. So the first part will be more like a general presentation of why we actually started Transmetrics and how we actually helping logistics company to solve inefficiencies in their business operation. And the second part will be done by my colleague Balu, and will be more focused on a demo and the technical aspect and the partnership we have with IBM. So Transmetrics is a predictive analytics company. We help companies like a transportation company or ocean shipping line to actually improve their business operations, and generally we improve the planning. So everything which is related to planning management and demand forecasting. So we are part of this new revolution of logistics, right? Simon just mentioned that CIO are interested by AI first, so this is where we are. But IoT, blockchain are the topics and are part also of this revolution which is happening in the logistics. But we strongly believe that Transmetrics will help, the logistical industry to go to the next stage. So why did we start, back in 2013, Transmetrics? So it started with a constat, which is pretty alarming, to be honest. So every 1 in 5 trucks driving in the European Union is driving empty. Secondly, and that's a study from the Boston Consulting Group, every 1 in 3 containers globally is shipped empty. And last but not the least, 65% of the time, logistic assets are staying idle. So there is a lot of inefficiency in this industry, and this is the origin of the company, right? So on top of that, everything is done on Excel, right? So more and more now you see new software appearing in the market, but really 80-85% of the market is still using Excel, right?
Absolutely.
So our proposition is to offer, to our customer a full alignment, between the commercial interest and also the operations. Our transport platform is a source of truth, right? It's an AI algorithm, and it gives like a pragmatic and objective vision of what is really happening in your business operations. We are a SaaS platform, so it's a simple pricing, on a monthly basis. There is no hidden fees. Everything is embedded within the subscription fee, and we focus on value over cost, right? The idea is as mentioned by Simeon, either to reduce cost and to improve revenue. We are there to support our customer. The biggest customer is Kuehne+Nagel, but we work with all of the bigger transportation and logistic company here in Europe and also recently overseas. So we like something as IBM does. So augmented intelligence, this is a concept, that we like to mention. It's not only artificial intelligence, the artificial intelligence part really in our system is actually working on everything which is linked to the big data, right? Everything which is not, perfectly done with a human brain is done by your AI machine, right? So fallback decision, model updates, repetitive, tedious works, big data, everything which is complex to organize. We still need, and that's why we call it augmented intelligence, we still need, the human brain, the human intelligence. So for the experience, for the responsibility, for the common sense, right? So we leverage the experience of the planner generally to actually work on the best and optimal solution for our customer. So the mix between AI and human intelligence give us what we call the augmented intelligence. So at the end of the day, what imports to us is automating the repetitive stuff and focus on what matters. And this is where we strongly believe that you're actually bringing values for the customer. We don't need to spend 2, 3, 4 hours to actually plan, the next activities within a logistics organization. The machine can do that, and the planning team can actually focus on really what matters. Our platform. So it's one solution, right? So it's one system where we start by actually analyzing the data, understanding and transforming the data. Then we forecast, we predict, and then we optimize. And basically, generally, the optimization is a fully optimized planning under constraints, taking in consideration not flat data, but really predictive analytics. So today, you know, and as I mentioned at the beginning, you still have like 85% of the planning operation done manually or on Excel, right? So the planning team has generally access to a software. It can be like a booking system, a TMS, or a transport management system, a WMS, a warehouse management system. But really the rest of the work is done manually. So behind the scene, right, the planner will generally, you know, manually analyze the data, estimate the capacity, try to understand, you know, the network, to analyze the network, to actually generate the planning, right? So the planning is done manually, generated on Excel, and uploaded on the system, right? So where Transmetrics is actually bringing value is we replace everything which is done manually by the planner, right? We still leverage, you know, his experience. He's still the process owner at the end of the day, but really from data analysis, capacity estimation, network analysis, up to generating the planning, Transmetrics is doing that automatically. It's a machine learning algorithm, so the more you use the system and the better so the planning will become. And we are generally also interconnected with the system of our client. We have one thing on base. You know, it's one platform fully built in-house. We don't outsource anything. We are hyper secure. You know, we are ISO certified. Also, what is important to mention, we have our own server. We don't use cloud. It's really precise, and that's why we are here today with IBM. We use the IBM Watson power and performance, you know, to actually calculate and understand the business operation for a customer. And it's really agile. You know, within 2, 3, 4 months, you are actually able, you know, to implement a project, and you can see the first benefit after a quarter generally. So the process starts with historical data. We need data, right? We are actually digesting data, understanding data, but the process starts with that. Generally, we ask at least a year of historical data. You know, 2 or 3 years would be better, but with a year of data, we can actually start to understand the business operations. So that's just the first part. That's just historical data that you can find within a customer organization. Most importantly, the idea is also to enrich this data set by actually any external database, external data set, you know, that you can find on the market. So we have a team dedicated to partner with those databases, right, in order to enrich the historical data from the customer. Think about a transportation company who will actually, you know, serve a retail chain, a supermarket chain, right? And so they will transport food at a certain point. They might be impacted by the weather forecast. So in this specific business case, we would actually, for instance, welcome the weather forecast, but also business holidays, event, commodities, store data, you know, for some ocean shipping line, everything which can actually impact or might impact the historical data and then the forecast of the customer are actually taken in considerations. And the outcome is actually, you know, a forecast process, right? We are able to forecast at a very high level of accuracy. For some of the business case we have, it's above 96, 97% as of today. And that's the first part of the process. So demand forecasting. So we forecast with different horizons. We forecast the activity of the customer. For last mile delivery platform, you can forecast, you know, for the next day. For line haul optimization for next week, for instance. And for an ocean shipping line, you can sometimes forecast, you know, 12 weeks ahead. So we know generally the activity of our business, right? We know that there is a spring schedule, a summer schedule, a fall schedule. We know more or less the big trend, right? But really, what matters to us is actually really to stick to the actual, right? The idea is not to actually understand the big trend. The idea is to actually look. We are looking for, you know, the last points, last percentage that we can improve to really get tight to the actuals, right? And this is how we actually optimize. User cases, Kuehne+Nagel is our biggest customer. DPD is also a strong customer from the French Post. For them, for instance, we will forecast, you know, the next week, you know, what will happen in their business operation in terms of transport activities, and we would optimize, for instance, you know, the number of trucks, the number of drivers I need to put in front of each line, right? On Dutch, for instance, or other ocean shipping lines, what we do, you know, we forecast, you know, the need of equipment, of sea container, for instance, 12 weeks ahead. And what we do is that we optimize the repositioning, right? Taking in consideration all of the cost of the network, the reposition cost, the storage cost, but also the forecast. And with that, we actually give the planning team a fully optimized planning to reposition those containers. And for the last mile part also, we are able now actually to forecast, for the next day, how many shipments, packages will happen by postcode. And again, that's an optimization that can actually bring a cost saving in your organization, because basically, thanks to that, you're able actually to lower the subcontractor part of your business, for instance. Impact, we always mention that the 3P is something which is trendy. We are actually following that. We really want to make the logistic industry more appealing, right? We are an old industry, right? And we really want to make this industry sexier, right? So we are in our daily life, in our personal life, we use digital tools. We strongly believe that a planner should be able to use such a tool, within his organization. Everything which is actually done by Transmetrics impacts the CO2 emissions. So the sustainability part, is important to us as well. And of course, everything comes with a cost saving. Our target is generally to save 10% of cost of transportation cost or maintenance cost for a logistic company. Regarding the organization, so we started back in 2013. We are a team of 35 people as of today. I think the interesting thing is we have a mix between tech people and very logistic industry background oriented people, right? I myself, have an experience in supply chain. Malu, my colleague, will actually introduce you, to the demo and our system, and also why the partnership with IBM is a strong tech leader. So I think the combination of both worlds is actually why Transmetrics is pretty unique. We are focusing on supply chain, AI, and both combination will actually give us, this uniqueness in the market. So thank you, and I just wanted to mention that we are very proud, to be in this webinar. It's the first one. We hope that we will have some other webinar next year with you. And yeah, just really proud to be an IBM partner. So I will give the lead to my colleague Balu.
Thank you very much, John. Just would like to mention that to the audience that you will see, especially in these COVID times, why you need to have such kind of solutions, because now the speed is very important. We rely a lot on transportation, expedition, logistics companies. So having the solution of Transmetrics will really significantly improve your business, the satisfaction of your customers, and at the end of the day will bring you more profitable results.
Yeah. Thank you, Zonka.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you, John, and welcome everybody. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. So let me start. As explained by John, we have several use cases, but obviously we don't have time to demo all of them. Today I will focus on the network optimization, line haul optimization, and that's the DPD case. And I will explain how we optimize the operations of a parcel delivery company, and how we can leverage IBM's technology to solve complex mathematical problems. Let me find the right key to go to the slide. Yes. All right. So first of all, let me briefly show you the components of the solution. By the way, this is the setup for other optimization solution, other use cases. So it pretty much applies to all use cases we have. On the left side, in yellow, you see the customer system with the raw data. It's typically a transport management system or warehouse management system, as John explained. And we pull the data from that system. And after cleansing and enrichment, we load it to our database. That's this box. Yeah. The next step is forecasting. Although it's marked as optional, and and we can optimize the current situation. The power of our solution is that we first forecast the demand, and then we optimize the future. So yeah, that's what we call predictive optimization. It's very important because, I mean, optimizing today's operation is nice, but actually the decision of today has an effect several days or weeks later. Yeah. So you need to somehow know what is going to happen in the future, I mean, on the demand side. We have a dedicated team of data scientists who build, as part of the optimization, they build a mathematical model of the operation, including demand and the network and various constraints. And then they optimize the operations. But as you can imagine, this is even for a mid-sized company. This model can be so big, and we need a lot of computational power to solve the problem in a reasonable time. So we need the help. Yeah. So that's where we can leverage the CPLEX solution of IBM. And what happens actually that we send a mathematical problem to the CPLEX solution in IBM Watson, and we receive the solution back. It's displayed in a separate block because it resides on a different architecture, I mean infrastructure, sorry. But actually, it's an integrated part of the solution of the Transmetrics solution. So it's embedded in the Transmetrics solution you subscribe to. And of course, talking about the fourth green block, since we have all this data and historical data in a very organized form, it's a kind of natural choice to do reporting. So that's also a big part of the solution, historical and both historical and future-looking reporting. Let me show you the application itself. Just a couple of screens. Okay. So back to the use case. This demo use case is a parcel delivery company, let's say a mid-sized parcel delivery company. We need to know a couple of things. The first one is the network. So we need to know where we can plan trucks, where the client already planned some trucks to travel. So it starts with this screen with the contracts. Here you can see, let me open one just to make it simpler. So here the planner enters all the contracts or a client with the trucker, that's the trucking company, how much it takes to make this trip, and we need to know the stops, obviously, and we need to know the capacity. So how many shipments we can put on the truck. Based on these contracts, the user plans the trips of next week. A trip meaning, I mean, it's a truck starting somewhere. Let me take an example. For example, this one. So there is a truck starting in Antwerp North, traveling to Middelburg, Terneuzen, and then it ends up back in Antwerp North. We need to know the days it travels, so the schedule. For example, this truck travels on 6 days, and this one only on Monday and Saturday. We need to know the exact load and unload times, because as you can imagine, a package travels on several trucks. So and then when there is a cross docking, we need to know if the package catches the next truck. And the last important thing on this screen is that a truck is required or extra, meaning that required means that it will happen anyway, according to the contract. So even if we don't put any package on it, the truck will happen and we have to pay for it. Extra means that the truck is ordered, but the planner may cancel it. If not needed, we can just cancel it. So we know the planned trucks for the next week. The second important thing we need to know is the demand. Here we go. Like we said, we start with a demand forecast. On this screen, I picked a historical period, so you can see the actual data next to the forecasted data. The actual data, you can see that's the blue column, and the forecast is the green one. As you can see, the forecast is pretty accurate. Yeah. This is on a global scale. When I filter, then it may be slightly less accurate, but in general, we can produce a very accurate forecast. We forecast separately for Express and Economy in this demo case. Express package meaning next day delivery. Yeah, I think everybody knows what it means. And Economy package means that it's a 2-3 days delivery, so it's a regular package. And we forecast separately the commodity types to be loaded on the truck. And if you want, of course, you can drill in and you can filter and see the forecast and all the details for specific origins or destinations. So we know the network, we know the schedule, and we know the demand of the future. Yeah. Then we start optimizing. Unfortunately, it happens. It's the most interesting part, I know, but it happens behind the scenes. So there is not much I can show about it. We have the model, we know the demand. We send the problem to IBM Watson, and we wait for a response, for a solution, and then we present it. What I can do, I can show the results. Yeah. It has several parts.
Balazs, the beauty is exactly in the results, because the good things are not visible.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to keep something for ourselves. So the first step on this screen is the resource utilization. These are all the scheduled trucks. So exactly the same trucks which are on this screen. You can see it's here, but then separately for each day. Yeah. And if I take this one, I think it's the same what I showed you on the trips. So you can see that this is the truck taking these stops. What is important here is the utilization. So if I let me clear this filter to see all of them. You can see how full the trucks are. In this model, we allow a bit of extra load because that's what happens in practice. And you can see the utilization of certain trucks. There are some strange things, right? So if you look at this one, there are two different load factors. It's caused by the two legs it makes. So it first goes to Luxembourg and then it goes to Bremen, yeah, to Germany. And on one leg, the truck is totally full, and on the other one, it's almost full. What you can see, a bunch of zeros, yeah. What does zero mean? Zero mean that it's an extra truck in the schedule, and optimization says you don't need the truck, you can simply cancel it because there won't be any package on it. If I filter this one, you can see that 95 at the bottom, 95 out of the almost 500 trucks can be cancelled. So this is number one, what the optimization says. The second thing is on this tab. So basically, the optimization looks at the contracts, and based on the contract, it proposes additional trucks to add. So it tells the planner, all right, you need to cancel those trucks from the previous, but we recommend you to put additional trucks on these routes. So for example, for Bremen, Düsseldorf, Frankfurt, yeah, round trip, it goes back to Bremen apparently. And it also shows the load factor for each leg on this truck. And you can see it removes 95 trucks from the schedule one, and it proposes to add 47 trucks. Yeah. And if you look at the numbers, I mean, we are talking about hundreds of trips in this case, and it's not even a big company. And we're talking about thousands of packages. Yeah. So you can imagine that it's really a challenge for a planner to run the business efficiently. So that's why yeah, that's where we try to help. Let me show you the last two screens. These are the leftover volumes. Leftover means that it couldn't reach the connection, so the package has to stay in the warehouse another night, and the truck the following day will pick it up. The interesting thing is that if you look at these numbers, the express packages are pretty zero. What does it mean? It means that the optimization prioritizes the express packages over the economy packages, simply to guarantee the next day delivery and to make sure that the parcel delivery company can maintain a very high service level, right? And last but not least, the terminal operation. We produce a list of all the detailed operations per terminal, per date, and load and unload operations the terminal needs to execute. That's everything I wanted to show now. Obviously, we have much more screens, and we have a reporting section with historical reports, but I think the time is up. So thank you.
Thank you, Balo.
Thank you very much, Balos. So I would like to encourage all the attendees to address the questions in the chat, or if you would like to see some other feature which Balu mentioned, because we still have a special section for questions and answers, so we can utilize this time. Or if you have some questions about some other questions about the solution of Transmetrics or about IBM Watson technology, please feel free to address these questions now.
I think, Tonka, there was a question from Matt in the chat.
Yeah,
it's a good question, actually. And
absolutely.
also, we are experiencing, you know, like growth in certain market space, right? If you look at the e-commerce trend right now, I mean, for most of our customers since March, so basically since COVID, you know, started, you know, some of our customers experience like 20, 30, 35% of growth, right? And obviously, you know, it's an unusual case. So the idea to forecast might be tricky in that case, but so we have different solutions. One of them is, for instance, you know, we are able, for instance, take in consideration the sales forecast, but also some other tips, you know. And so we are working on that with some of them. But yeah, indeed, that's a good question, Mark. Matt, I will follow up with you because that's that dedicates more like just a 1 minute answer, but I will follow up with you to further explain the case. But yeah, indeed, we are actually able also to forecast companies which are growing.
Thank you very much, John. There is another question. How do you leverage on big data to facilitate an effective logistics service? It's a question of Osadi. Oh, sorry, by
Samuel,
Mr. or Mrs. Samuel. Yeah, sorry, I for the not correct pronunciation of the name.
I think Samuel, Balu, or you want to reply? I can just quickly reply. But so
Yeah,
I think, yeah, so that's the whole concept actually. So yeah, we start with the historical data, right? You have generally as a company, you know, as a transportation company, most likely you use a TMS, right? As a warehousing business, generally you use a WMS. As a maintenance company, maintaining logistic asset, use a CMMS, right? But the reality is generally you have teraoctet of data regarding your activity, right? And we start like that. So that's why, you know, we actually start with a customer case by actually analyzing the historical data, you know, and the process takes generally between 1 and 3 months. It depends, you know, the quality of the data we find, but that's the first part of the process, trying to understand the business model of a customer through data. So we have a team of data scientists, data engineers specialized in that, and that's the entry point for our system. But yeah, we indeed leverage this data set in order to start. Then we enrich this data. So this is what I said, you know, when we actually incorporate other data sets, you know, like for the weather forecast, you know, or port data, Freightos database, you know, so everything which might impact at a certain point the historical data in the forecasting process are also taken in consideration, right? So both together will help us to forecast, and so that's that. When we say big data, that's the part of the system, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can add something. I mean, of course, for the forecast we need historical data. So that's, I mean, big data. But what we also do is the quality of data that we receive is very varying a lot. So transport companies are not famous for high data quality. So there are gaps. If we take a parcel company, then sometimes they enter the weight of the package, sometimes the volume, sometimes the measurements. So there are a lot of gaps. Yeah. And what we also use the data we receive is to train. That's the enrichment part. So it's even before the forecasting. So we train our model using the historical data to see the patterns. So if a package travels from certain location to another location and it's owned by a different a specific customer, then the typical ratio between like volume and weight is this. So, but it's obviously it's much more complex. We have hundreds of parameters, and so we absolutely leverage the data set we receive to enrich the data. So and then use the enriched data to a higher, so more accurate forecast. So we have use cases where we increased the forecast accuracy, let's say from 87% to 93, 95%, only by enriching the data. Yeah. So using the same algorithm, forecasting algorithm, we produced something below 90%, and then we try to enrich the data, fix the outliers, and so on, and then we increase the accuracy significantly. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things to mention, for the demand forecasting part is just the first step, right? Optimization is really the key of our USP, right? We take the forecast, the constraint of the network in order to optimize. But we need the forecast to actually optimize the planning. Now, the difference between a predictive planning and a planning just taking into consideration the flat data. Yeah.
Guys, there is one more question which came through the sections questions, and I put it in the chat. The question is, you mentioned that Transmetrics takes data from the main system. TMS or etc. The company is using. Is the idea that the user continues to do their work in that TMS, or does this eventually replace the TMS?
Yeah. So we are not a TMS, so that's why we are agile. I mentioned that during it's a SaaS solution. It's not a TMS implementation. Between 2 and 4 months, you are fully implemented, right? So it's an add-on, right? You are plugging, the Transmetrics solution on top of the TMS, and it's bidirectional, right? So we have data coming from the TMS, and we digest and enrich the data from the TMS, but it's not a TMS, right? So that's not the purpose. But yes, so the user keeps using the TMS, but the planning is automatically done in our solution. And on a daily basis, right, we actually get the data. But maybe from a technical standpoint, you can explain it even more.
Yeah, it's correct. I mean, we are not a TMS, and we don't intend to be a TMS. So we receive the data, we propose actions to the planner, and either the planner can confirm or enter the action in Transmetrics. And if we have integration back to the TMS, then it results in an order, let's say, in the TMS. Or just takes the proposed actions and enters it directly in the TMS. And with the next data load, we receive it back anyway. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
If there is a yeah.
Yeah, I apologized. Really, it was not intentional. I couldn't spell it. Apologize to Samuel.
So we want to be respectful to our time also, guys. So, but I put the email address, so we will be happy, to further discuss, any challenges you might have within your organization, or if you want another demo. That was a very quick one. We have different solutions, so yeah, feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. And because there was also a question whether the session is recorded. Yes, the session is recorded, and you are going to get all the materials from our colleagues from Transmetrics, because we should be GDPR compliant, and we have to respect the law. You will have all the details of the colleagues from Transmetrics in the materials, also of Simeon from IBM, also the details of ALSO. I really would like to thank you one more time to our speakers, to our partners Transmetrics, to John, to Balu, to Simeon from IBM for the interesting session. Thank you very much for also to all the attendees who waited till the end of the event. I wish to everybody a very calm and very healthy coming season holidays, and I really believe that next year we are going to have the chance to have such kind of events live.
Thank you, Tony, for organizing it.
Welcome.
Thanks, everybody.
It was our pleasure, and goodbye. Stay healthy, and all the best from ALSO Bulgaria. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.